Hi there. This is your restorative and beginners class here today. And this class is perfect for really anyone. So if you are perhaps an athlete or you do very powerful yoga, this is a wonderful complement to those practices to allow your body to rest, to calm the nervous system, to really stretch those muscles out in a very passive way. And also for you, if you're a beginner, a complete beginner, we're going to go through in each one of these classes one basic pose and really get into the specifics of each one. And also for those of you who maybe have some trouble with mobility right now, and you can actually do most of this class on the bed, and then you can also move from the bed onto the floor for our basic pose. Well, not onto the floor, you're going to be standing, so you don't have to actually get down on the floor. So you can make any modifications as well that you want to. If you find that we're doing a pose that doesn't feel good to you, then you can have other options. I'm going to give you other options, but you can also simply either lie on your back or come into a child's pose. If you do lie on your back, one of the poses that I really like is to simply lie down with your feet about as wide as your mat, or if you had a mat. And then just allow your knees to fall in towards each other so that they're resting on each other. This is really nice for releasing the lower back. And it's just very calming to be able to lie down like that. Now, the other thing that you may notice is that I have like a million pillows, and I have a sleeping bag here and some blocks. You don't have to have blocks, but if you do, go ahead and grab them. And go ahead and grab, you can pause the video here, and go ahead and grab any pillows, blankets that you can find, because we're going to be playing with those to make these poses and these holds just super delicious for you. So over these next 7 classes, actually, and you don't have to do them in order, but it can be fun too sometimes. We're going to be going through the chakras, and those are 7 energy centers of the body. And each of these centers represents or embodies aspects of ourselves and aspects of how we interact with the world. So this first chakra that we're exploring today is the root chakra, and it's located at the base of the spine, and it's associated with our sense of safety and security and with our basic needs. So food, water, shelter. And then it's also associated with our relationship to the earth and to the ground, and this sense of foundation and safety and security. So we're going to be exploring that today, as well as the parts of our body that are foundational. So our feet, which we don't always get to, we kind of forget about them sometimes because they're the furthest away from our eyes, right? But we use them all the time. And then also we're going to be playing around with that basic pose that I told you about earlier. And these are going to be long holds, so feel free to, you want to take these adjustments to make each pose feel the best for you. I'm going to take you through all of that. So to begin with here, find a comfortable seat for yourself, and this could be sitting cross-legged up on a lot of support, so you can put several pillows or blankets underneath your tush. You can also just lie back in that position that I showed you just a few minutes ago. And wherever you are, go ahead and close your eyes here. And begin to tune into your breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And keying into your breath at this point simply means being aware of it. Being aware of the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And then we're going to add in allowing our inhale, our exhale to be longer than our inhale. So on your inhale, you're going to count to 3. And exhale, count to 5. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And you can keep that up on your own for a few more breaths here. So whenever you can during the class today, just key back into that longer exhale. It's very calming for the nervous system. And then I'd like for you to imagine that you have roots growing out from your pelvis down into the ground, growing from your legs down into the earth. And these roots, they grow very, very deep and very, very wide. And they wrap around rocks, and they wrap around other roots. And you begin to feel this real connection with the earth and this very strong, very steady foundation of this big, beautiful root system that's underneath you. And from that foundation, from that steadiness, you can feel your torso rising up like a trunk of a tree that is able to stay so tall and steady because of that strong root system. It's really kind of a miracle when you think about it. When you look at all these trees, we forget that they have these strong root systems, and we just take it for granted that they're standing up straight and not falling over. So even your tailbone, you can imagine, is reaching down. It's one of those roots. And then you can tune into the nourishment of the ground, of the dirt around these roots, and feel the nourishment that's coming in through those roots automatically. So your roots are automatically soaking up all the nourishment that you need from this rich, rich soil. And maybe you feel all that nourishment coming up through those roots into your body and filling you up, your legs, your pelvis, your feet, your torso, your chest, your arms, your neck, your head, all the way out to your fingernails, toenails, and your hair and your skin. And maybe that nourishment, the light and energy of that nourishment even shines out of your body. It's so full. And there's nothing that you have to do. It's happening automatically. So take one more breath here in that full feeling of being nourished and feeling all of the cells in your body doing their happy dance because they're being nourished and being fed. And then take a few moments here to set an intention for yourself, for your class today. And that can be to key into this lovely feeling of steadiness, of your foundation, of security. Or it can be to key into that feeling of being nourished, that feeling of being given everything that you need, of fullness. Can also be to simply be present with yourself as we're going through these different poses. Or it can be just to have fun. That's one of my favorites. So then, as you're ready, bring your hands into your heart center. And we'll open today with one audible sigh, followed by one Om. Take a nice deep breath in. And another deep breath. Release your hands and slowly open your eyes. And you can start off with just where you are right now. So grab one of your feet, or you can take one leg out to the side. Grab one of your feet and just start to give it some love here. So maybe you're just massaging the bottom of the foot. You can do this while you're on your back too. And yeah, find a comfortable position for you. And just touching all the different parts of your foot here. Maybe a little bit to your ankles as well. And then the other foot here. And if you're with a partner, maybe you guys can take turns doing this for each other. It's always nice to have loving hands other than your own. And your own loving hands as well. And then to the ankles as well. Just saying hi to the feet. We're going to say hi to him in a couple seconds here in a different way. Great. So from here, you're going to move any, what do you call those things? Pillows and blankets and stuff out of the way. And then you're going to tuck your toes and sit back on your tush here. Now, if this is too much for you, if it's difficult for you to sit back, then you can always grab a blanket and put it between your legs here, between your calves and your hamstrings. You can give that a shot as well. If you have issues with arthritis or anything like that, then you can simply keep giving your feet some love. Just keep massaging them. This can be quite intense on the toes sometimes because we're not used to having them in this position. So just rest your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes here. In and out through the nose. And just send that breath down to the toes right now, down to any intense feelings that you might be feeling down there. Great. So now from here, you're going to come onto the tops of your feet. So you're going to flatten your feet here. And you're sitting back again and again if you want to keep the blanket or pillow. If you need more height here, you can do that. And then from here, you can take your left hand to your left knee and pull up on that knee. So now we're stretching the tops of the feet. And again, you take this to where it feels okay to you. You're just taking it right to the edge. Some people like a little more sensation, in which case you can actually lean back. Some people prefer less sensation, which means that maybe you're not even lifting up, which is fine too. And then we're going to take the right knee in the right hand, stretching the top of the right foot here. And left hand is just down beside you. And exhale, release. And then if you'd like to, you can place your hands next to your knees and lift the knees up. Again, this is going to be a little more intense. And then you're going to release that. And then from here, you can come onto your hands and knees. We're going to take some cat-cows here. So on your inhale, you're going to arch your back into a cow pose. And then on your exhale, you're going to pull the belly in strongly for your cat. Doming out through the top, through the back. And inhale and just follow your breath here with your inhales and exhales. Maybe you close your eyes. Really feel the movement of the body. We're waking up the spine here. We're going to keep the toes tucked for right now since we're being more aware of our feet today. And then start to take any other movements that you are maybe feeling. Listen to your body here. Maybe you're taking some hip circles. Maybe you're taking the body into a C shape. Stretching out the side body, stretching the obliques here. And then from here, I'd like you to come back into an active child's pose, actually. So that's simply pressing the tush back, the hips back, and lengthening the arms. Then you're going to inhale, lift it up to your table. We're going to flow through this here. So exhale, pressing it back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, press back. Inhale, table. Exhale, press back. Inhale, table. Exhale, press back. Inhale, table. And then from here, we're going to actually come back into a regular child's pose. So bring your toes in together. Knees come wide. And then you're going to press your hips back. Now, what I'd like for you to do here is, if a regular child's pose is not comfortable to you, you can go ahead and grab a pillow or something like that to support you right here underneath your torso. We're not going to be here for too long right now this time. And just come into your child's pose. And this is a more passive one, so the arms can release to the earth. Forehead comes to the mat or your bolster or pillow. And then from here, you can press yourself up to table again and make your way to a standing position here. So we're going to start off with our basic pose for today is Tadasana, which is mountain pose. So this is really the basis of all of your yoga poses right here. So if you think about it, this particular pose can be translated into any yoga pose. So you're going to take your feet so that they're directly beneath your hips here. And imagine that you have, or try to feel, all four corners of your feet, which means, let's see if I can get you to see this, which means the big toe mound, which is right here, the little toe mound, which is right here, and then the two corners of your heel right here. So you're going to press down through all four corners of both feet. You can imagine that you have those roots growing down on all four of those corners. Then from there, you're going to imagine that or feel that you're pulling the feet in towards each other. You might notice that that is going to engage your inner thighs. So you've got that muscle energy happening there. And then you're also going to, and we'll play around with this a little bit as well, start off with pressing the booty back. Okay, so that's going to take those inner thighs back. And then I want you to scoop the tailbone under so that you have the back motion of the thighs in place. And at the same time, you're engaging the core, which means front, back, sides, and middle of this area. And that's going to protect the lower back here. Now you have your foundation, right? We've got the feet. We've got the legs pulling in towards each other. We've got the inner thighs spiraling in and back. And then we've got the tailbone tucking under so that we are fully engaged through the pelvis and the core. Then from there, remember we were talking about that tree lifting out of the foundation, the trunk of the tree lifting out of that foundation before. And that's what we're doing here as well. So you can feel that the ribs are lifting up out of that foundation. And from here, you're going to imagine that you're going to do the muscle action of pulling those lower ribs in, and then you're taking the shoulders up and back. And then the final pieces of all of this, of your Tadasana, are to allow your head, your neck, to be an extension of that spine. So imagine that you have a line, a string attached to the top of your head that's pulling you up. And then you can allow your arms to just have your palms facing forward. And then you get to release your jaw. Soften your jaw. Soften your tongue. Soften your eyes. Maybe have a little smile on your face. And feel your mountain pose here, your connection with the earth. You are the earth because you're a mountain. Close your eyes and feel that connection. Feel that you are the earth right now. Strong rising. Strong foundation, strong rooting. And then you can slowly open your eyes. And let's make our way back down to your mat or the bed or the floor. And go ahead and grab several pillows here, or you can also use, like I said, a rolled up sleeping bag, which I'll probably do. So whatever combination, since you may or may not have any props, it's going to be up to you to figure out how to make these poses happen in the most comfortable way for you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come into your toes together and your knees are wide. And again, if this is not super comfortable for you, you can put something in between your legs here. So let's say this. Now also, if your ankles are not feeling good in this pose, then you can roll up something very small and put it underneath this area right here so that you're not putting so much pressure on your feet. Then you're going to take your bolster or your pillows or whatever you have in between your legs. And I'm putting some blocks up here as well so that you can rest your head. And you may even want to play around with stacking your blocks. You can see what happens there. So again, just play around, because what we're going to do is we're going to lean forward here. We're going to fold forward and come into a supported balasana pose, supported child's pose. So go ahead and bring your arms in front of you. You can clasp your arms. You can also stack up some blocks or pillows on either side of you, or blankets, so that you can rest your arms on either side of you. So take your time here to get set up, and you can take your, well, that didn't stay, did it? So yeah, find what works for you here. Arms can come to the side, resting. And you're just going to breathe into this pose. Completely releasing the body. Maybe you're focusing on that extended exhale here. And then change the way that your head is facing. So change it to the other side. We're getting a stretch in the neck in both sides. And then you're going to lift up, inhale. And you're going to keep the same setup underneath your torso and even next to your arms. I'm just moving it out of the way so that you can see what we're going to do here. And that is, you're going to take your left leg in front of you, so it's in kind of a pigeon-like position. And then the right leg is going to be in a, let's do it this way first. So right leg comes out in front, this way you can see. And then the left leg, you can either have the knee up closer to your right foot, or you can take the knee back. So this is called deer pose here. Now, if neither one of those is comfortable for you, you can kind of play around with it. So again, we're bringing the bolster in as close as you can to your belly. And then you're going to lean forward. So see how that feels to you. If that's a little too much for your hip, try bringing that knee up. And if that's too much still, then you can actually take both of your legs out to the side. And then another variation of this is both legs out to the side as opposed to right in front of you. And then you can take that left leg back there. So a couple of different choices here. So you find the one that works the best with you, for you. And I'm going to let you take the time to do that. And then again, you can pull those bolsters or blankets or pillows or blocks out to the side for yourself. And you're going to look in the direction of that top leg. And again, close your eyes. Allow yourself to sink into this pose. Just watching any thoughts that you're having right now. Not engaging with them, just watching them like clouds in the sky. And then from here you can lift up using your hands to press you up and come to the other side. So whichever variation you took on that side, I would recommend using that same variation on the other side. And get yourself nice and comfortably set up here. And exhale, lower yourself down. Head comes to the other side. Arms beside you or resting in front of your head. You want to, in all of these poses, you want to be able to completely release the body. If you need to make any adjustments while we're holding the pose, that's fine. But do find a place of stillness. And if you do find your mind wandering, it's okay. Just bring it back to center. Come back to your breath. And inhale, lift up. And here we're going to come into a pose called Supta Baddha Konasana. So again, we're just going to make a slight modification to what you've already set up here. Might be a little more than slight. And for me, I'm not going to use this. Well, you know what? Let's give it a shot. So I am going to keep this then. And we're just going to see how all this works out. So I'm going to take this right here. Basically what we're going to be doing is lying back on an incline. So our back is going to go on here. So you want to make sure that there are gradations here. So it may work better for you to have some blocks set up. Let's do it like this. Like right here. We're going to try it this way. And then just your bolster and pillows right there. So I'm actually going to move this out of the way. You might want something that's less dense there. That one's a little hard. So maybe something like this right there, so that it's a gentle grade up. So let me just see how that works. You're going to take your hips all the way back to the very edge of whatever you've set up there, and then see about lying back into that. So ideally speaking, I would have a little bit more support underneath my head. But again, you find what's comfortable for you. And then you're going to bring the soles of your feet together here. Come into Supta Baddha Konasana. And if you'd like to put some support under your knees here, if your legs are way up here, then grab some blankets, pillows to put underneath your knees there. And then you're going to take your hands. You can either take one to your belly and one to your heart, or you can simply lie them on the floor. Just let them fall beside you. You can also, again, put them on some blankets, on some support. But palms facing up, eyes closed. Allowing gravity to open your chest for you. Slowly begin to bring yourself out of this yummy, yummy pose. So you can do that by rolling to one side and gently lift yourself up, press yourself up. And our last pose today before we get to our yummy Shavasana is going to be legs up the wall. So if you have access to a wall, that would be great. You can even take your legs up against shelves if you want to, or you can also put them up on a chair. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do this up against the wall from the side first, and then I'll join you because I have this teeny little bit of space right here that I can do it in. Otherwise, I'm up against some other things. So you're going to want to take a bolster or a soft blanket or a pillow. See, this is a bit much here. So one that's maybe a little bit thin so that you can fold it over a little bit there. And then so let's pretend that this is the wall right here. And then you're going to take your hips up onto your pillow or bolster, and you're going to have about a half a foot in between, maybe more, in between your legs and the wall. And then you're going to bring those feet up. You want to make sure that you're have the majority of your bolster or pillow underneath your hips, so that your lower back, well, also a little bit under your lower back, so that your lower back is supported. And then you're going to bring your legs up and just rest them against the wall. Your arms can be by your sides. This is going to be more calming. They can be, again, one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Or you can actually take them overhead. This is going to be a little bit more energizing. So really, I'd recommend keeping your arms somewhere below your head. But if you're called to take them above your head, then that's perfect too. So we're going to hold it here. And again, close your eyes. I'm going to go ahead and move myself up against the wall here too. So even in this pose, find your connection to the earth, right? We're connected here in a way that we're oriented in a way that we're maybe not usually oriented. So feel that connection of the back body to the ground, to the earth. The head, the hips. here, you can either stay here if you'd like to. If you'd like to take your Shavasana with your legs up the wall, you can do that. Or you can bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a yummy hug here. And then you can roll to one side and find your Shavasana. If you'd like to grab a blanket to put over yourself, you can do that. I always like to be nice and toasty warm during my Shavasanas. And then you can also place a bolster underneath your knees. That feels nice and can take some pressure off of the lower back here. And you can take that position that we did at the very beginning of the class with your knees bent if you'd like to. But whichever place you're coming to. Oh, the other yummy thing you can do is to take a weighty blanket across your pelvis as well, and that feels nice. So I'm going to cover myself up and get nice and comfy, warm. So your arms are beside your body with your palms facing up. Away from the body. Arms are away from the body. And just completely release into the earth. Releasing your breath, just allowing it to occur naturally. Soften the jaw, soften the tongue. Allow the eyes to sink back in their sockets. Soften your brain and allow it to rest heavy in your skull. Release your neck. Allow your shoulders, chest, back, arms to get heavy. Allow your lungs to release into the earth. Soften the belly. Release the hips, the pelvis, the legs, the knees, ankles, feet, hands. Soften your fingernails and your toenails, soften your hair and your skin. And allow your whole body to sink into the loving support of the earth, of the ground. Begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Inhale your arms up overhead. Lengthen out through your legs. See how tall you got today. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a loving hug here. And roll yourself to one side or the other. Staying in this fetal position, eyes closed. And take some time here to give yourself some love and appreciation for taking this time for yourself today. Knowing that it's positively affecting not only you, but also those around you and those around them, and having this incredible ripple effect. And gently press yourself up to a seated position. Or you can stay on your side if a seated position isn't comfortable to you. And we'll seal our practice today with 3 ohms. And I'd like you to key in especially to the vibration of these ohms. See if you can feel it literally vibrating in your body. Bring your hands to your heart center, pressing your thumbs into your chest, chest into your thumbs. Take a nice deep breath in. And this beautiful grounded connection and bright light that is within me, that is me, acknowledges and honors this beautiful, grounded, secure, strong foundation and this bright light that is within you, that is each of you. With so much love. Namaste.